Okay. Okay, okay, live right now.
Do what the queen wants to do.
Okay, let me just... Here we go. Okay. Okay, gonna start this, Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay. Okay, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a good day. Hey guys. Anyone needs help selling anything, just invite me and I'll help you out. Okay. Hey, I'm converting. Okay. I like your outfit, thank you. No, Mr. Waifu, everything's okay, and, I haven't really been following the Last of Us TV show. Hi, Yara. I'm good, how are you guys? Hope everyone's having a great day. For me, it's 6:17 p.m. They should really update this mission where all 10 packages appear at once on the map. Like, it's just... Yeah, this is... Oh, thank you, Dynasty, Tariq. Terry, thanks for sponsoring my channel, man. Okay, there's already people at that next one. Looking forward to the San Andreas lore video. Thank you, Eric. Thanks, man. Thanks, Eric, for that super chat. Have I thought about playing the original Max Payne? Yes, I have. Oh, it's just the one with the hippies. Okay. Okay, half of them. Also, can't wait to see the San Andreas video, and hopefully soon I can focus on getting a PS5, but I need to get away from home. Okay, Deadman. Tell no tales. Well, thank you for sponsoring my channel again, man. I appreciate it. Have I ever been to a foreign country? Yes, I've been to my parents' country of Poland a few times. Even this is still not as bad as the post-op. Yeah, Rockstar are more likely to ban money glitchers than they are post-op bans. And I don't like money glitches. I think they're kind of stupid, but it's that when it comes down to it, you know, who are they more likely to ban? I think money glitchers. Rank worst to best: Springfield, Arasaka, Mosin, or Car 98. I can tell you, I don't know if I would really rank them, because there's a lot of different factors to consider in that diet, because here's the thing about that, is that a lot of those rifles are, you know, there's different versions of them made. And for example, the late war Arasakas suck. And the Mosin Nagants, a lot of them that were mass produced had a sticky bolt. So there's like, you know, there's issues with all of them. I would say that there's advantages to each of them. You know, I think the Mosin Nagant, when you compare it to all the other rifles, I think the Mosin Nagant is it has the easiest way to remove the bolt on it, because all you basically do is just hold the trigger and you just pull back on the bolt, and the bolt will just come out. So that's like the easiest way to like remove the bolt on a Mosin. It's so easy to remove the bolt on a Mosin. Like the Car 98 is like this little lever, and you have to open it, and then you have to twist the bolt and like pull it. It's a little bit more annoying. So Mosin Nagant, I would say, is the easiest to field strip out of all of them. The Arasaka, for example, has a lot of them have dust covers on it, which protects the bolt from like damage and, you know, getting dirty. And they also have monopods on them, which is like a little like something like a bipod, but like a little bit smaller on like one leg, which is meant for soldiers to be able to steady their aim. The Arasaka also has a button underneath the underneath it, right near the trigger, which actually releases all the rounds from it, so it empties out the gun. Some people actually consider that a you know, a bad thing, but I don't think it's a bad thing. If the soldier knows where the button is, it actually makes easier to unload their firearm. You know, the Springfield 1903 doesn't really have many issues to it. You know, it's a Mauser action, so it's also a decent rifle. But then that's my analysis on all of them personally. You know, I hope I was helpful with that. Well, Prince Harry is and his stupid wife are actually considering suing South Park over that episode. Okay. But thank you, Diet, for that super chat. A crazy story. My friend and I were doing a sell mission of post-op vans, and we managed to sell the very last package at the last second. Oh. Well, you guys got it then. It was what? It was 2 of you guys, right? 2 of you guys, so like 10 minutes on each van. Yeah, that'd be a bit hard, and you gotta go back and get it. Yes, I'll do the Sniper Elite 5 missions, the DLC ones. What capture card do I use? Hold on, I'll tell you right now what capture card that I use. One second, I'm just gonna... Okay, let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. I'm gonna put an Amazon link. I don't know if this will let me paste it. Let's see. Okay, I just put an Amazon link in the chat for people that want to know. This is the capture card that I use. You know, it's typically under $100. I've had that capture card for years, and it's the one that I'm still using right now. So it has provided me with no issues. It's a very simple. You just plug it into your PlayStation, your TV, and then you plug it into your computer and just go play it through OBS directly. So it's a very yeah, that capture card has done wonders for me. It's not, you know, the most high-tech capture card out there, but it's very simple and it's affordable, and, you know, and I'm that type of guy that if something works for me, I don't really see the need to replace it. So that's me. I'm not cheap or anything, but, you know, this capture card has done fine for me. So, you know, I don't need to mess around with something else. I know it's unavailable on Amazon, it is, but that's the capture card that I bought. So if you look it up, I'm sure there's other retailers that you can probably buy it from. I think cryptocurrency is a very shady practice. Don't buy that. Don't. Thank you, DL Gaming, and thank you, It's Ann. Thanks, man. I've been tired a lot, and I checked my weight today, and I want to do better. Any tips? Are you trying to... I know this is a bit of a personal question, but are you trying to gain weight or lose weight? What do you mean exactly, though? Thank you for the super chat. Question, ever played Metal Gear, and do you suggest? I played Metal Gear Solid 2 and 4. That was about it that I played. Oh, it's only one vehicle? Oh, you're trying to gain weight. Why don't you try eating granola bars? Like, eat that right after breakfast. That might help you gain some weight. You can buy, like, a pack of those at Walmart. I have, like, a granola bar after breakfast, usually. That has helped me, you know, maintain some healthy weight. Thank you, Dirt Street. Thank you, Jen. Had 6 million, so I spent most of it on the MC business and the upgrades. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, MC businesses are a great investment, and it's a passive amount of money that's gonna help you make money over time. So yeah, I would say it's definitely a great investment.
Jesus, you're gonna kill me! What?
What's your favorite program on the in-game TV? Probably when they do the Las Venturas poker, Mario. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, Ashley causes way more problems than Lance. Yeah, see, that's why compact grenade launcher is helpful. I play on the PlayStation 5. Hey Pro, I love the Silence of the Lambs cosplay outfit that you're wearing. The what? Thank you, Sad, for the super chat. Is that a movie? I don't know what that is. Okay, let's keep going here. I just wear like the suit because it was kind of my godfather's suit, but it was
That's my boss's car.
oh, ooh. No, I think it's a movie, right? I've never seen that one. What do you think about Squidward in the SpongeBob series? I think that Squidward is a very relatable character. I think that most... Wow, that was... Wait, I wasn't even driving that fast. Squidward, I think, is a very relatable character. Like, it's like when you're a kid, you really don't like him, but when you get older, you understand him a lot more. This is my old character. Chinatown Wars will be the next playthrough. Do you wish Rockstar did more Gen 9 like Gen 8? What do you mean by that? Hybrid? I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused on what you mean. I want to answer. You don't have to super chat me again, but just can you explain like what you mean? I want to answer your question. Maybe I'll do a playthrough of The Last of Us 1 one day, maybe. How much hours do you sleep? I usually sleep 6 or 7 hours. Did I want episodes or expand and enhance feature more improvements? Yeah. I mean, you know, they even dropped the expanded and enhanced thing. They just call it GTA 5 on PS5. So they dropped that as well. My favorite DLC, Cayo Perico. Added a new map, added a new money method, the submarine, Cayo Perico, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, Gupta. I think that he was an American American Indian who fought on he flew for the Chinese Air Force. That was in Medal of Honor. Super work as usual, buddy. Mark Durham, England. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jaff. Thank you, man. Remember, guys, people who play video games are smart. Who don't play video games are smarter. Yeah, that study that I did a story on yesterday. They went into the study thinking that. They went in the study thinking that. They went in the study thinking. thinking that gamers were going to be somehow doing worse than non-gamers. Okay, one more drop. Can you believe it's been 4 years and they still haven't brought the duffel bag cell mission? They could have brought them back on the PS5 version. When did duffel bags get taken out of the game? When was that exactly? Wasn't that like around? When did that happen exactly? That was 2019, right? Was it 2020? So it was. It's been already 3 years at least. Are you possibly going to do the rest of the DLC missions for Sniper Elite V2 Remastered? And also Sniper Elite 5's other DLC missions, mostly islands, I think. Well, Sniper Elite V2, I don't know if I'll do that, but I will do Sniper Elite 5. Those missions, I'll definitely do those, yes. Thank you, JD. Do you have any tips and tricks to have less stress? Thank you, Gorgel. Well, one of the things you can do to kind of reduce your stress is playing video games, because playing video games takes your mind off of that stuff. But basically, like some of the stress that I had is like, I'll give you like an example. I would have people that would, like, you know, they would just insult me and just say nasty things to me when I tried to play other games besides GTA. So that used to happen a lot back in the day, but now it doesn't really happen anymore. So most people have accepted that I play other games now. But, like, I used to have people that would just come into my videos and insult me and just tell me just to play GTA, and they would threaten to unsubscribe. And they would tell me that if I'm not playing, that if I play like another game, that they're gonna unsubscribe. And I got really stressed out about that, but eventually got to the point where I said, you know what, I'm gonna play whatever game I want to play, and so nobody's gonna tell me what I can and can't do. And so when I, stopped listening to those rude people's demands, I had a lot less stress. I hope that answered your question, if that, Okay. Can you help me sell after melons? I possibly could. Wait, am I in a... Yeah, I'm still in a CEO. Was I in a fraternity in college? No, not really, no. There was, like, political clubs that would go around that would try to, like, recruit me, but I would just say I'm not interested generally on that. Have I ever played Warzone and Modern Warfare multiplayer? Yes, I have played it. Thank you, Justin, for thank you for subscribing. Oh, great. Yeah, whatever. We got this mission done as fast as we can. Yeah, we'll deal with it quickly, though. Okay. Hopefully these drops are pretty close together. One thing that changed the whole system of the symbol of Nazi Germany was that it was meant to represent. Uh, yeah, I know about that. I know about that. The swastika was, or a lot of people don't know about that, a symbol in India, and it means it has a good symbol historically in India, but you know the Nazis took that symbol and you know twisted it to their own use. Thank you, JD. I know there were a lot of negatives to working retail, but are there any positives that you took away from your experience? That's a great question. Positives are I learned people skills. I learned how to deal with people, talk to people, and it actually has helped me out a bit because I run a rental property in real life, and so I'm very, you know, nice and professional with my customers, and so that's, or my tenants, I should say. So that, so I say that, you know, developing people skills definitely helped me out. Another thing that was working in retail was it was one other good thing that I got from it was multitasking, and that's not necessarily how I learned how to multitask. Wasn't necessarily a good thing at the start, because managers in retail are very unreasonable people, and managers will expect you to do like 5 things at once, and which gets really annoying. And they shouldn't have to force you to do that, but managers expect ridiculous, you know, quotas in just a short period of time. And so because of that, I had to learn how to multitask and do a lot of things at once, and so that did help me in a way, I guess. How did I avoid depression? Well, basically, what I'll tell you is I've never been depressed, but the closest that I've ever been in that type of situation is when it was when I tried to when I was trying to take my channel from like different content, and I was trying to play different games. So I was trying to play different games and doing different content, and I didn't want my channel just to be known as GT Online. Like, my dream was to be able to play a lot of different games and do different content. And what happened is when I tried to play different games and different content, my views would be so much less on those videos than like typically my GTA views. And not only that, but I'd have people that would complain. They would complain on those videos. And so what ended up happening was you know, I was about to stop. Like, I was about to stop doing YouTube entirely. And I was about to, you know, say, you know, like, maybe I was just going to just stop it entirely because people were just being rude to me whenever I tried to play, like, a different game. Like, I felt like I was trapped in this box, and I couldn't get out of this box, and all I could do was GTA, nothing but GTA. And what ended up happening is I just decided to just do my own thing and just chose to play what I wanted to play regardless of the views. I stopped obsessing over views. And I think that, personally, the obsession over views, I think, is what destroys a lot of YouTube channels. And I think that, like, a lot of YouTubers are just obsessed with views. They, like, basically, they think to themselves, they think, you know, if this video doesn't get, like, a certain amount of views within 24 to 48 hours, it's a failure. That's, like, what a lot of YouTubers seem to think. And so I personally think that that's a bad mindset to have, and I don't think you should think like that personally. And, you know, when I stopped thinking that way, you know, I helped get out of that situation. Also, like, there was another thing that, like, another reason that I never was, like, depressed or anything like that is because even though I had times where I was sad, I was never depressed because I always knew that there was people that had it much worse than me, much, much worse. So, you know, I was generally happy with my life and just, and that, but I understand that there was people that had it much worse than me, so I was, like, thinking, like, you know, why should I be getting upset when there's people that, you know, have to deal with a lot of stuff that I don't have to deal with. So that's generally, like, you know, how I thought about it. I'm not whining about anything. This one person asked me about, like, you know, how I avoided depression, so that's what I was talking about. Thank you, Mitchell. Hey, Professional, how are you, man? I've been enjoying your videos, and I agree with you on the stupid university people being stupid about gamers. Are you gonna play Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 3? Yes, I will probably play Black Ops 2 one day. I don't know whether I'll play Black Ops 3. Thank you also, Mitchell. Largest super chat on the stream today. I do appreciate it. Thank you, man. What were some of the worst cases you saw that remain unsolved? Good question. Like police cases that remain unsolved. I can't think of any modern cases. I know the most famous unsolved murder were the Jack the Ripper killings in Britain. You know, Jack the Ripper was Britain's most infamous serial killer. Even though there are serial killers in Britain who killed more people than Jack the Ripper became infamous because of his brutality. And so that case was never solved. There was also, in the early 1900s in America, there was like an entire family that was murdered with like axes. It was like the axe murders or something like that, and that was never solved. What happened there exactly? It was never figured out what exactly happened. So there are, you know, a few, you know, cases, but like there's not that many modern cases that are unsolved. You know, back in the day, you had a lot more of those. You know, you have things like DNA technology today. You know, fingerprints. You know, there's a lot more, like, you know, cameras. It's a lot harder for people to get away with crimes. Greetings from Belgium. Well, hello, Brent. How are you, man?
Damn degenerate!
Oh, thank you, Deadman Tail No Tails. I mean, working at a fast food place, I'm expected to be Sonic, and my legs go from 0 to 100. Not a reasonable idea. Broke both my fibulas at the age of 4, and my boss treats me like an injured dog. What? I'm sorry for what you're going through, Deadman Tail No Tails. I appreciate the super chat, but what I would do is I would try to apply to other jobs. Basically, keep working at that job because I'm assuming you need the money, but apply to other jobs in the meantime. Just see if other jobs are willing to give you a chance. Like, I'm sure that you could possibly try to find something in your area that's like better than that one. But yeah, don't let your boss bully you, and don't let your boss, like, you know, treat you like garbage, because a lot of these retail and fast food managers, they treat their employees like robots. You know, the stupidest thing that you can possibly hear, the worst thing that you can possibly hear when you're at a job is when they say, "We're like family." That's the worst thing that you can possibly hear at your job. It's a load of nonsense. And, you know, don't ever believe that personally. One more thing, in the Saboteur, you called the Waffen SS elites, not the case. Experienced soldiers, because they're most likely lifers and death row inmates. Well, thank you for the super chat, JD, but the Nazi SS were typically, you know, more of the better trained soldiers. Like, they were like, you know, I don't know if special forces is the word that I would use, but they were like, you know, they were the most fanatical to the Nazi regime, so they were the most loyal to the dictatorship. You know, they were the worst of the worst, but they were also the best trained and the best equipped typically. And so that's what I mean when I say that they were elite units. The Zodiac Killer, right, that's been unsolved too. You're right on that. Thank you, I am Batman. Thank you for the super chat, man. No, I didn't really have student loan debt. And the reason I didn't have student loan debt is because my college wasn't extremely... It was a good college, but it wasn't, like, extremely expensive. And also on top of that is, I saved up, like, a lot of money when I worked in retail. Like, basically what I did when I worked in retail is whenever I would get my paycheck from my job, I would take, like, 90% of my paycheck and just put it in the bank and don't touch it. And this 10% of it, I would just, you know, use as spending money. That's typically what I would do. Yes, Jimmy Carter is under medical care right now, Mario. Okay. Uh-oh, I'm in danger. I'm in danger to drop, drop they like nobody's business. My general manager is the one who drops it the most, and she's the scheduling manager. They like nobody's business. They drop what? Wait, wait, what, that Deadman? Can you explain a little bit more? Okay. No, I have never actually gotten detention once in school. Your obsession of use is over for almost 3 years. Yeah. I think it's generally a good thing, but you know, I'll tell you something is just, you know, when a lot of these YouTubers they don't want to do videos because they say it's not going to get that many views as their regular content. Well, you know, you don't know that stuff can grow over time. That's what I would say about that. Would you consider playing Resident Evil games? Maybe one day, Mitchell. I'm not sure. I don't know the stories that well, so I can't really talk about the lore. I did play a few of them, but... Okay, 2 miles on this. The Ware family like nobody's business autocorrect is very horrible. Oh, yeah. So look, whenever they, you know, whenever you're at a job, if they tell you at your job that, you know, we're like a family, you know, don't listen to that. That's nonsense. Pro, can't wait for the... Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Diet, for the super chat. Guys, you know, do you know what I would tell my, if I had a boss that literally would tell me we're like a family, do you know what I would say to them? I mean, I'd probably get in trouble for it, but do you know what I would, at least I would want to say to them? You know what that is? I would say to them, if we're like a family, why don't you pay me a livable wage? That's what I would say, generally. If you know, you have a boss that says, you know, we're like a family, that's what I'm thinking in my head. If I'm like, we're a family, why don't you pay me a livable wage? Then that's, Okay, got here in 3 minutes. Okay, that's pretty good. Thoughts on McCarthyism? Well, McCarthyism was stupid as hell. And McCarthyism was basically the first form of cancel culture. That's essentially what it was. It was the first form of cancel culture. If John Cena is in the Fast and Furious movie, I'm not gonna see it. I don't like John Cena. I can't stand John Cena. If I even see his face in a movie, I'm gonna refuse to see it. So that's like so yeah. That's just personally it. I really don't like John Cena. But you know, you can't see John Cena too. But do you know what John Cena can't see either? John Cena can't see Taiwan. That's what he can't see. So that's what I say about him. So for people wondering, I'm seeing a few comments, people asking me why do I hate John Cena. The reason I don't like John Cena is because I consider him a sellout to the Communist Party of China. Because basically, John Cena was giving an interview on the last Fast and Furious movie a few years ago, and he called Taiwan a country, and China attacked him over that. And then basically, he recorded a video in Chinese in which he apologized to the Communist Party of China for calling Taiwan a country. That was that was it. And so like when he made a video apologizing to a dictatorship, like, you know, that was just, you know, no. And the fact that Hollywood was perfectly acceptable of it. Hollywood was like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not okay. So that's just, if you don't believe me, just go on YouTube, look up John Cena apologizes to the Chinese government. You'll see it. It's not fake, it's real. And so he made a video apologizing to the government of China. Oh, Steven Seagal is also an idiot though, Art. You know, he just does propaganda for Russia though. So it's, you know, both of them, you know, are sellouts. So it's just like I don't like either of them. You know, if you want to know celebrities that I like and celebrities that I respect, is I like, you know, Shaquille O'Neal. I like him. I like Denzel Washington. I like where is it? There's a few more celebrities that I actually like. Yeah, I'd have to think a few more, but... Oh, you were joking, yeah. Okay, okay. Oh, I missed a bunch of comments, I'm sorry. What type of star do you like? Mine's Red Dwarf. Thank you, Toyota. I actually don't even know what a lot of stars are called, though. I can't answer your question, Toyota, because I don't know. I'll look for your comment again if you want to ask me anything else. I don't know if I really have a favorite star, because I don't even know most of the stars' names. Thank you, Andrew, for sponsoring my channel. Thank you. And thank you, Dylan, for sponsoring my channel again. Out of every stealth game you've played, what would you say is your favorite in each game series? The best first-person stealth game that I've ever played. What would be the best first-person stealth game? I have to think about that one. The best third-person stealth game I can tell you is Ghost of Tsushima. That one is. That's the best stealth third-person game that I've played. Best first-person stealth game that I've played? Does Generation Zero even have stealth in it, Brandon? I don't... But, I don't know. Good stealth first-person game. I'm trying to think of it. Because, like, Call of Duty, for example, has, like, stealth missions. But I'm trying to think of a game that's, like, themed in stealth. You know, I know some of the Far Cry games have it, but I didn't really like the stealth in a lot of the Far Cry games. For talking about what? Black Trouse? I'm unsubbing. You look like a kid. Also, can you play Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 and dress as a pea shooter? Okay, well, I know you're probably trolling on that. I've never played that game, but I did hear that it was good. But I do want to thank you for the super chat, Small. Same goes for LeBron. Oh, yeah, I agree with you. LeBron also sold out to China. Yes, I agree. Do you know who were the partisans during World War II? Yes, the partisans were resistance fighters who fought against the Nazis. They fought in a lot of, like, there's a lot of different from French partisans to Soviet partisans to Polish partisans, Czechoslovakian partisans. There's a lot of them. Thank you, Dana. Thank you for the super chat. I mean, I wouldn't call John Cena evil, but I wouldn't call him a good person either. He's just, you know, he's just a sellout to the Chinese government. The biggest celebrities that I can tell you that are scumbags are like Prince Harry and his wife. Those are the celebrities that I really don't like them. And also is that my reasoning for not liking Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is literally it's not even the reason that most British people hate them. The reason that I don't like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is because of an American perspective. It's because I just simply don't care. Like, he's not my prince. You know, I'm an American. I don't know why I should care personally, but they want to make everything about themselves. And so that's why, you know, I personally don't like both of them. Just tired of hearing about them. I'm so happy South Park made fun of them, because they're so stupid. And they can't tell that I clutch my chest and I'm having an almost heart attack and think that I have COVID. Me, what's 2 + 2 equals, makes no sense. I had COVID. The heart issue came from it. Oh, I'm sorry about that, dead man. You know, if you know, I don't know where you're in America, right? You're in the U.S. You're sending me American dollars. In America, there should be, like, look up your state, for example. Whatever state that you're in, your state probably has some kind of labor, you know, some kind of labor organization, like government organization that does inspections, and just tell them that there's unsafe, like, you know, working conditions at your job. I know that might put your job at a little bit of a risk if they figure it out. I think it's illegal to fire you if you call them in, but you might have some issues from that. Just keep that in mind. But that's one of the things that I regret personally doing. Is I regret that when I worked in retail, I should have called like my like labor board, like, you know, government group, and I should have told them about like the working conditions. That's like what I should have done. I didn't do it because I didn't want drama and like stuff like that. But it was, you know, it was like some of the stuff that they were like, you know, they were doing. Go here. Nice hat, thank you, man. Okay, let's go here. Thank you, I am Batman. Thank you, man. Do you do any open lobbies on PC ever? I used to play PlayStation, but my house and PlayStation left this place of existence. So thank you, Dano, if I'm reading your name correctly. No, I don't play on PC. I don't play on console though. I don't even do public lobbies really in console. Like, sometimes I'll play in public lobbies like off stream, but I can't play in public lobbies on stream, guys, because I get attacked so much if that happened. If you played this, but GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, I haven't played either one, but I'm open to playing them, Diet. I would love to see other Siphon Filter games brought to PS5, considering we have the PS1 trilogy. Omega Strain was one of my favorites. Thank you, Dylan, for the super chat. Oh, and I just remembered. Do you know what law my store broke most of the time working in retail? So earlier when I was saying that, like, the one thing that I regretted is that I didn't probably call, like, the labor board. But do you know what law my retail place broke most of the time? And for any, I'm sure there's people in the chat here that work in retail or even retail or fast food, because both retail and fast food break this law commonly, very commonly. But it's most of the time workers don't report it. That's the thing. But does anybody know what it is? Can anybody guess? Anybody that worked in retail or in fast food? What law do most of these places break? Typically, what's the most common thing they break?
All right.
What law? Let me see if somebody gets it right in the chat here. Exactly. Some people got it right. People got it right in the chat. Some people already called it out. So there's people that are in the audience. There's people that have experienced this. And let me in the comments right now, tell me if you guys have ever worked in retail or fast food, if you've experienced this exact thing what I'm going to talk about, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. But the most common thing that management at retail places and fast food, the most common law that they break, an actual law, is breaks, actual break time. There's laws where you're, in my country, at least in America, there's laws that you can go on break. I mean, there's laws everywhere where you can go on break, but some countries have different laws regarding it. But my country in America, for example, in my state of New York, there was a law that said that if you work less than 6 hours, you are allowed to take a 15-minute paid break. If you work more than 6 hours, you can take a 30-minute unpaid break. If you work more than, I think it was more than 9 hours, 8 or 9 hours, you get one 30-minute break, unpaid break, and you get 2 paid 15-minute breaks. And what happened is these companies, these companies would go do everything in their power to try to screw you over on your break. I've seen it happen so many times, and it pissed me off. Like, I would break my back for these companies. And the fact that they would try to screw me out of my break so many times pissed me off. I'm working for you like crazy, doing everything possible for you, and you're making a scene when I try to even go on break, like just to have some food and just rest for a little bit. I'm entitled to a break. Everyone is. But these people, they always they say you can't take a break. We have a lot of work to do. Exactly. You are completely spot on there, Tarian. Exactly. Who else has heard that? Has anybody heard their manager say that to them before? You can't go on break. We have a lot of work to do. I've seen that happen so many times. Where, like, when I worked in retail in 6 years, you try to go on break, and they tell you, oh, you can't go on break. We have a lot of work to do. And then what happens is you ask your manager, and they say, oh, maybe later. And then by the time they finally say, oh, you can go on break, your shift is over, and you've basically been screwed out of a break. How many people has that happened to? That's what the most common. That's illegal. What they're doing right there when they're trying to tell you can't go on break. We have a lot of work to do. And frankly speaking, I don't care if there's a lot of work to do. I don't care. That doesn't basically say to me that I can't go on break and I can't eat what I can't eat because there's too much work to do. Like, seriously. So that's what it was. And look, my first manager was a massive scumbag, and the management that I had when I first started working in retail would do this constantly. They would try to, they would try to prevent you from taking your break. They would try to do that as much as possible. My second manager was a much more reasonable guy, and didn't pull crap like that. And basically, what happened was, if we were short-staffed, do you know what my manager would do if we were short-staffed and people needed to go on break? What he would do is he would actually give us paid 30-minute breaks. And how that would basically work is we were paid for the 30 minutes, but we would go sit down and like have something to eat. And if he needed us, he'd call us. So that was basically it. So that was that's not the best solution ever. The best solution would probably be just to have like a break in general. But at least in that one, we were paid. You'd have the 30-minute unpaid break. But in that case, to make it up for us, to call us during our break, he would pay us those 30 minutes of time. So that's what the second manager did to kind of improve things. but the first manager, they would constantly, the managers would always have time to go on break. The managers would always sit, and the manager, I've heard it so many times that the manager would say, oh, I don't take breaks. When you would say that to them, they'd say, oh, I don't take breaks. But then you know what the manager does? The manager sits in the office most of the time counting the money. It's very easy for them to multitask and have food at the same time. I can't eat my meal at the cash register. I can't. So that's that's what I would say about these scumbag managers. And this happens in retail, this happens in fast food. They would try to basically try to not try to do everything in their power so that you can't take your break. Oh, we have a lot of work to do, and just all that stuff. You know, I've had my supervisor my supervisor got pissed off at me for trying to take a 15-minute break once, and you know what he said to me? He said to me, "Oh, you don't need to take a 15-minute break. We have a lot of work to do." And it was one of the few times I stood up for myself and I said, "No, I'm taking my 15-minute break. I'm entitled to it." And then my supervisor would get all pissed off and said, "I don't take breaks because there's a lot of work." And I'm like, "Okay, good, that's you, but I'm taking a break." So that's like so if you ever have that type of situation at your job, guys, like literally, like, and they're trying to tell you, oh, you have too much work to do, you can't go on break right now, just tell them this is the law. This is the law, and the law says that I can go and take a break after working for a few hours. And if they try to still pull some stuff, threaten to call the government on them. That's what I would do at that point. Because you can call government investigators in, and they would come in, and you would explain to them exactly. And I'm sure if you called in government investigators, I'm sure that there would be more people that would back up your statement. If this is like a large store especially, I'm sure there's other workers that would also say the exact same thing what management has been doing. So it wouldn't be you. But if you don't trust your coworkers to back you up, I wouldn't call them then, the investigators. But that's the one thing that I regretted doing, is when I worked in retail, I should have called in, like, the government. I should have done that, because that pissed me off so much that I was like, I was constantly being told, oh, don't go on break, we've got a lot of work to do. And literally, do you know what actually the really messed up thing about it is? That when I was working in retail, nobody told me that I could take a break. Do you know that? Nobody did. So when I first started working in retail, I was a very naive kid. I was very naive. And I didn't realize that I was entitled to a break. I didn't realize that I could just I could ask for go for a break, and I would be granted a break. I didn't realize that. I know I'm kind of naive and stupid for thinking that, but when I was 19, that's basically what it was. And so the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was working, and I stood up at the cash register for 8 hours, no lunch breaks, nothing. And I had no one in management. Management saw that I was standing up there for 8 hours. They didn't do anything. They didn't tell me. They knew this was my first job. They didn't tell me that I was entitled to a break. My coworker, she walked up to me and she said, Patrick, aren't you tired? Don't you want to take a break? I said, I'm entitled to breaks. She's like, yeah, you get a 30-minute unpaid break if you're working more than 6 hours. I'm like, why has nobody told me this? I wasn't told this in the class. When I was taking the class for the for the job at retail, when I was being taught how to use the register and everything, they didn't teach me that I was entitled to a break. Why didn't they teach it at the class? So but that was basically it, and I started taking breaks. And then I found out later on that if I worked a 9-hour shift, I was entitled to a 30-minute break and 2 15-minute paid breaks. So 30-minute unpaid break and 2 15-minute paid breaks. And my coworker, she was a nice girl that I worked with, she said to me, you should start taking your 15-minute breaks also. They're paid, and I didn't realize that. So I was basically working for these people for free at times. And basically, she said, Patrick, watch this. I'm going to tell the management that I'm going to take my 15-minute break, and they're going to stop me. And she literally, what she did was she called up the assistant manager. Assistant manager comes up to the cash register, and she says that I want to take my 2 15-minute breaks. I'm going to combine them into 1 30-minute break. And the assistant manager was like, huh? What do you mean? Like, that was just basically what they were doing. And then she said to me quietly, see, they're trying to stop you. And that was just that. So that's it. Management is scummy a lot. Management is fully aware of the break laws. They're fully aware of that. There's no way they're not. But they do everything in their power to try to stop you from taking a break. And I'm saying is, don't let these people roll all over you. Don't let these people do that. So to answer your question, Deadman, is if your manager at your retail place, if they are violating labor laws and stuff like that, call the government on them. Don't feel like a rat, because you're not ratting anybody out. That's not it. For somebody to be a rat, this is what people don't understand. People don't understand the difference between telling the authorities about something and ratting. They don't understand the difference. The difference is, ratting is basically when somebody is part of something. So if somebody is part of something bad, and they're part of the problem, and they're breaking the law themselves, and then they tell on other people to save themselves, that's ratting. But if you're not breaking the law, and somebody is abusing you, or somebody's causing you, problems, your boss is breaking labor laws, that's not ratting. That's literally doing the right thing. So that's it. So that's the thing that I regretted doing in retail personally, is I regretted literally never calling like the labor government on my labor board on my place of work, because that's what I should have done, because that was just unacceptable. And honestly, I would have told my manager. My manager, who was like, who tried to stop me, my first manager, who was a scumbag, who tried to stop me from taking breaks, if he would tell me, like, back then, I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't. But, if I was working in this situation and he did the exact same thing to me, and he said to me, oh, you can't go on break, we got a lot of work to do. I would say to them, well, there's always a lot of work to do. I'm never able to go on break. And I'm saying, why are we not able to go on break? And then he would say that we're short-staffed. And then I would say to him, then hire more people. That's what I would say. Because that's the problem with these companies. These companies are so cheap when it comes to hiring. They will basically, in their mind, they think that they can get one person to do jobs with 3 people. And so instead of hiring two more people, they're like, oh, we're just gonna have one person constantly multitasking. We'll save money that way. These companies are so rich, these multi-million-dollar companies a lot of times, and they will do everything in their power to cut corners. And I personally don't understand that. But that's just what I'll say is these companies are not your family. These companies are not your friend. They don't have your back. So that's that. There was a coworker. One of my coworkers I know. There was one of my coworkers that was a friend of mine who he did have my back. And I know I actually considered him an actual friend. And he did stuff that he didn't have to for me that could have possibly put him in trouble. Which I'll explain in a little bit here. Let me see. I probably missed a lot of comments, so I don't want to, I would love to see other Siphon Filter games. I brought to PS5, considering we have the PS1 trilogy. Omega Strain was one of my favorites. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, man, for the super chat. My favorite is Siphon Filter 2, personally. I just like the Colorado Mountain missions a lot. I tried to report my old job powder coating for no air filtration and never restocking the first aid kit, but it never went anywhere. That's what I would do if I was you is I would try to go up the chain at that point in the government. Go up the chain. Like you will probably find somebody in the government eventually that will because the government is really incompetent at a lot of things. A lot of times the government is stupid, but eventually you will find somebody that will help you if you just keep going up the chain. That's what happened to me. Basically, so what ended up happening to me is I got screwed over by the Staten Island government a few times in real life. So Staten Island is a borough in New York City, and what happened was there was 2 times that I was driving to New Jersey, and this is like a few years ago. And what ended up happening is I literally go into the toll booth in Staten Island, right? And I'm there with my father. My father is a witness. My father was there both of those trips with me to New Jersey, so he was the witness to this. He saw what happened too. And the government accusing me of something I didn't do. But basically what happened was I went through the toll booth, paid the toll. Toll attendant says, "Would you like a receipt, sir?" I said, "No, thank you." I paid a toll. Toll attendant lets me through. In the mail, I got a ticket in the mail. Literally, and it was a ticket was saying that I didn't pay for the toll. And it was like a really expensive ticket. I was like, what the hell? Like, why am I being charged for a toll? I paid for this toll. I wish I had the receipt with me. That's what I would say, is when you go for these tolls, keep the receipt. And so they're charging these ridiculous ticket for it. I was outraged. I was pissed off. And my mom was kind of pissed off at me. She's like, you should have taken the receipt. But, I just didn't think about that happening. And so what happened is, literally, I called the government, the toll people, where you can pay off the toll. And I said to them, I paid for the toll. Why are you people doing this to me? And then she said to me, no, you didn't, sir. You didn't pay for the toll. And I said to them, I did pay for the toll. And then they were saying to me on the phone, they were saying, we have it all on video, sir. You didn't pay for the toll. It's like, no, I did pay for the toll. What video exactly? If you watch the video, you'll see that I handed the toll attendant money. I did. So that was just this argument going back and forth on the phone, back and forth. It wasn't getting anywhere, and I was like, I want to see this video. You're accusing me of not paying the toll. I want to see this video. And what happened was it was going nowhere. So what I eventually did was I wrote a letter to my congressman, and I don't remember who the congressman was in New York at the time. This happened in 2016, so this is 6 years ago, 6-7 years ago. And what I did was I wrote in that letter to the congressman, and I said to them, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. It's like, we vote for you, you take our tax dollars, and then you screw us like this. I was very, you know, I wasn't like, I didn't curse him, but I say, I pay my taxes, we work hard, and this is unacceptable. It's like, do something for this, about this. This is theft. You know, pretty much what this is going on. And the congressman actually did something. The congressman actually got rid of the ticket for me. So that actually did happen. And, you know, that was, you know, one time the government actually did something right and got something under control. So my point to your story is that eventually, if you call up the labor board and the labor board does nothing for you in that type of situation, then literally what I would do is go up the chain at that point. Go up the chain and go up, you know, try to see if you can find somebody else. I don't know if the congressman would be the right person, but like try to go up somewhere higher. You know, try to find someone higher and explain to them what's happening at your place of work and how your boss is breaking clear, like, workplace laws, and the government is doing absolutely nothing about it. And then for people wondering, the second time I got screwed over by Staten Island is I drove into Staten Island like a year later, second time. And guess what happened? This time I didn't take a ticket. I mean, didn't take the toll. And didn't take the receipt. And so I paid the toll again. And again, it came in the mail, and it said I didn't pay for it. And I was like, I was just pissed off. At that point, I paid it off. I just paid it off. Because I didn't feel like, I paid, the first ticket was gone, but the second one, I just paid it off. Because I didn't feel like going through all that process and arguing and everything like that. And they're going to think I'm a scammer or something like that, when I'm not a scammer. But it was like, but that was just it. So I'm going to say, when you go through toll booths, take receipts. Because just so that situation doesn't happen to me. But that happened to me twice in Staten Island. And so if I ever drive through Staten Island again, I'm going to ask for double ask for receipts at that point. Because that's like, that pissed me off, honestly. Do you know that goods in the nightclub go down when you sell to street dealers? Yes, I did hear about that. I actually did not, I didn't know about that in my guide. I wish I had put that in my guide, but I actually did not know about that. I didn't even think about that it could have been, from that. Wait, let me see here. I missed a few super chats. I'm really sorry for any super chat that I've missed, but I will, I'll read any super chats that I've missed. I'll read a lot of them now here. Let's see here. Let's see here. But Dano, I don't know if you're still here. I hope that helps you out. Is like if your employment is breaking clear safety, you know, policies, then literally call, you know, try to get in contact with the government, somebody from the government. Like, and like, eventually, if your labor government, if like the labor government isn't doing anything, you know, then try to call the mayor's office, the mayor in your town, and just explain to them exactly what's happening there. But thank you, Ickland Rocks. I worked a double when I was 16, 12 hours since it was part-time, and they only gave me a 15 to 20-minute break after I got heated with them. 12 hours and 20-minute break, and I'm assuming, and when you were 16, and I'm assuming, I don't know if that would even be, I don't know if 16, you can't work in some places at some places in 16. But that's ridiculous. I'm assuming this job paid you a little bit over minimum wage. And so that's what's so stupid about these places is these places pay you just a little bit above minimum wage and they expect you to break your back for them. That's what's so dumb about these places. Thank you, Swooshy. One time I had a manager take me out of break to clean something and I didn't realize till much later how illegal that was. Yeah. Literally, what I would do, guys, is if you have that type of, if you feel that your boss is gonna screw you over on your break, what I would do is I would just put your phone in your pocket and just start recording. You know, you don't have the phone itself, but just start recording and just record your manager. That's what I would do at that point. Is if your manager like tells you I need to get off break and help now, you would tell your manager, are you gonna compensate me for the break? Just tell your manager that. Are you gonna pay me for the break? If not, then you have no obligation to get up whatsoever. None. Then that. If they pay you, you know, that would still be, like, annoying, but at least they're paying you. So, like, if your manager wants you to get off break to help, say, are you paying me? And if not, then, you know, that. And here's another thing, guys. Another thing that these places will do is these places will say no overtime. No overtime. They refuse to pay overtime, but then they will try to get you to actually stay later, which that's illegal as well. And they can't do that. And if your place of business, the place where you work, if they tell you no overtime, then literally what you do is the second that your shift ends, walk off the clock. Just punch out and just walk off the clock. It doesn't matter how much work you have left. It doesn't matter how busy the store is, wherever you're working. It doesn't matter how much work you have left. If they're telling you no overtime, then walk off. The second that your shift ends, you just walk off. You have no obligation to stay there, and they'll try to make you feel bad. They'll try to make you work for free, but no, don't. You just walk off. And if your manager complains, just say to your manager, I'm not working extra unless you pay me for overtime. It's as simply as that. It's you standing up for yourself. It's not you being cheap or anything. It's you being stand up for yourself. I mean, who wants to work for free? So that's what I would say is, don't let the people do that to you. And if if your managers get pissed off at you for coming in like late, like once, because I've had that happen to me where I have texted managers beforehand when I was running late. I explained to them, and then I had people that would get pissed off at me for being late. I would have a situation, I'd be stuck in traffic or something else would happen, but I would let them know, and I'd still have people that would get pissed off at me. And if that happens where they give you like an attitude and they tell you you're supposed to be here on the dot right when the job starts, do you know what you do at that point? The second that your job ends for that day, walk off the clock. So if you're supposed to be there at 7 a.m. and your job ends at 4 p.m., you leave. Because the problem is a lot of these workplaces, when you're working for them, literally they expect you to be there on the dot perfect. Which, don't get me wrong, you don't want people to be late, but they expect you to be there on the dot perfectly. But yet, then after 4 p.m., they don't expect you to leave at 4 p.m. on the dot. So tell your boss that. So if you expect me to be here on the dot at 7 o'clock in the morning, then I'm also going to leave on the dot right when my shift ends. So that's really what it would be. You can't have that logic one way. You can't have it where they expect you to be on the dot, but then they also expect you to stay later. No. If they expect you to be here on the dot right when the job starts, and you have the right to leave on the dot right when the job ends for the day. So that's what I would say is, stand up for yourself. Don't let these people roll all over you, because I tell you, a lot of these bosses can just be massive scumbags. Has anyone heard that Spain just decriminalized what? Oh my god, yeah, I don't want to read that part, Mario. That's disgusting. But I don't know if that's true. I don't know what Spain's doing. Thank you for the super chat. They don't have a union. They make us call corporate, and told them that they said nothing lower manager being used as a pawn. Don't listen to common workplaces. I have to clean an entire lot with a broken garbage can. And I know exactly what you're talking about. My job was so cheap, dead men, that my vacuum broke. I mean, how many times do you have that where you work at a place and the vacuum breaks, right? The vacuum breaks. Has anybody had that happen to them? When you're working at a store and the vacuum breaks, and they expect you to figure out how to fix the vacuum. Instead of them, they're such a rich company, they could easily buy another vacuum, but they expect you as the worker to figure out how to fix the vacuum. You gotta open up the vacuum, take your gloves, just clean out the parts. It's disgusting. And literally what happens is, like I've had that happen where the vacuums break. And what happens is the vacuum is barely sucking, and so they expect me to still clean up. They expect me to still clean with a broken vacuum. And then they're like, why isn't the store clean? It's like, maybe the store would be clean if you'd actually buy a decently working vacuum. But that's these companies will do everything in their power to cheapen themselves out. And my second manager, the guy that was actually a good guy, do you know what he actually did? He actually brought his own vacuum in from home to actually help clean the store, because the store vacuums, the vacuum that the store would use was like a cheap vacuum, and they would always buy the exact same model that was cheap and it would break. And so my manager brought his own vacuum in, and it lasted for like 2 years and eventually broke on its own. But I felt bad that my manager had to bring in his own vacuum because of the fact that the company just did not want to pay for an actual good, decent vacuum. So that shows you how cheap these companies are. Thank you, Jonathan. The harsh reality is that if you're good at your work, your workload will increase. If you're doing something good, they won't care at all. Yeah, I've had that happen. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Does anybody need help selling anything, by the way? If anybody needs help selling Venge, do you need help selling anything, by the way? What I'll tell you is, I'll give you guys a perfect example of what happened to me. And look, this story that I'm about to tell you guys, this story is not fake. This story is real. You're going to think that it's fake because of how ridiculous it sounds, but this actually happened. So, my store had like a stupid email program. And how the stupid email program would basically work is that you would try to get customers to sign up for the email. So when the customers signed up with the store to get email offers, you know, they'd get a 20% coupon, and they would get, like, you know, other offers in the mail. And this is, you know, stores wanted customers to sign up for their email program so that it would encourage customers to shop more of their savings and stuff like that. And so we were really pushed to get customers to sign up for these rewards programs and everything like that. And so what I did was, when I first started working, I would convince customers to sign up for the rewards program, and I would tell them, you know, you're saving money, which technically it is true, they are saving some money, but companies don't encourage customers to sign up for the rewards program to save money, because they want customers to spend more, because customers think, if I'm saving money, I'll just spend a little bit more money. That's the whole idea of it. And basically, what happened was, I convinced more customers to sign up for the email program than any other employee, I should say. And so I got a lot of people to sign up. I had record amounts of people that signed up for it. And you know what, my first manager, the first guy that I had, that was a scumbag. You know what he said to me? He said to me, "You're doing a really good job, Patrick. I'm going to reward you for this." And then he never rewarded me. He never gave me anything. And then what ended up happening is, like, a few weeks later, I said to him, "Hey, you know, boss, are you gonna give me something? You told me to give me a reward for, like, having almost done a customer sign up for the rewards program." And he's like, "Oh, right, I'm sorry, my bad, I forgot about it." He's like, "Log on to the website and you'll have your reward." That's what he said. And so basically, the website that he was talking about was a company website where an employee could log in, and the employees were able to get points for, like, doing certain things, and those points could be redeemed in gift cards. And so I logged on. Do you know what my manager gave me for getting most amount of people to sign up for the rewards program? He gave me a $5 gift card. $5 gift card. And to the store that I worked at. That's what it was. It wasn't even $5 in cash. I would have had $5 in cash than have a $5 gift card. And so that's literally what I got for getting that many customers. I worked so hard getting that many customers to sign up for the email program, and that's exactly what I did. And you know what I did? I stopped collecting emails at that point. I stopped encouraging customers to sign up for it, and my numbers went down. And the second that my numbers went down, they went after me. And management, like, called me up and they said, "You know, Patrick, why are you not you know, getting people to sign up for the email program?" And I would say I lied to them. I didn't tell them that I stopped collecting emails. I just basically said to them that oh, nobody wants to sign up for it. That's, you know, what I basically would say. So that was it. So I would mention it to the customers, but I wouldn't push it. And so that was it. And so they never really, you know, praised me when I was doing work, a lot of work for them. And then the second that I stopped doing, you know, what I was doing beforehand, they went after me. And so that's like that's the horror of working at a lot of these places, that they expect you to do all the work, and that was it. And that's you know what my father always told me. My father always told me. He said to me, "Work hard, but don't work too hard." That's what my dad would always tell me. And basically, he would say to me, "Pracuj mocno, synku, ale nie pracuj za dużo." That's what he would say to me. And that, in Polish, that's, my father's from Poland. That's basically what it would mean. It would mean, work hard, son, but don't work too hard. And basically, what my father was meaning by that is, he meant that, you know, don't slack off, do what you're supposed to do. But if you're not required to do something else, you know, don't do it. Don't go above and beyond, and don't break your back. Because my dad told me that if you work really hard for a company, really, really hard, they're gonna put all the work on you, all the work. And the employees that don't do as much work, they're not gonna go after them. So the people that are kind of slacking, management is not gonna go after them. But the people who work really hard, management is gonna constantly get on their case. And so that's I think, you know, perfect example is, you know, work hard, but don't work too hard because of that. So that was that was that. I hope I help people out with that advice. What pisses me off is when smokers get to take smoke breaks while non-smokers keep working. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they have an addiction, and it's not good for them. And, you know, they're getting a break also for something that's not good for their bodies either. So, you know, that's what I would, and I would say to the manager, you know, if the smoker gets like a 5-minute break, I don't see why a non-smoker shouldn't get a 5-minute break. So that's what I would say also. I would agree with that. They also told me they never pay unemployment. The main company when people are fired. I tried to tell them that I feel uncomfortable. She said they would move me. My health is going south because of them. Yeah, you want to get out of this job. Last one I'll send. I have no doctor due to health insurance being very bad with keeping records up to date. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Deadman. So literally, get out of this job as soon as you can. I don't know what your financial situation is, but I would say, you know, get out of this job as soon as you can. Try to find another job. And look, if you have a car, if you have one, try to do Uber Eats. Which Uber Eats, you drive around, deliver people's food, and you could get some tips for that. It's not going to be, you know, the best money ever, but it's going to be, you know, some spending money, and you might even earn more than you do in your retail job, and you don't have to break your back for these people. So I hope that gives you some advice. Thanks for helping me sell. I really appreciate it. No problem. Did I help you sell on converting? Did I earlier? I did. I'm just trying to help as many people as I can. But I'm glad I was able to help you. I'm just not keeping track of who I'm helping. I'm sorry.
Are you all right?
Need help selling my business? Okay, I can try to help as many people as I can. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Brandon. I used to work detail or retail, I think you mean. And every time a vacuum broke, they would throw it away and buy a new one. I took one home and fixed it, and I got a free $200 shop vac. Yeah, but be careful with that though, because even when companies throw here's the really ridiculous things, guys. I'll tell you guys about something. Is when companies throw something out in the garbage, if they catch you taking that, they will fire you for that. A lot of people don't know that. But a lot of companies do that, is that they don't want you using something that they threw out, even if it's a good thing, because they'd rather you buy stuff. And so if you're working for a job and your job throws out like something and you take it, even if it's in the garbage, you could be fired for that. So just keep that in mind. So if you're going to take something that's in the garbage, make sure it's out of view of like the camera and something. I mean, it's not stealing because it's in the garbage. So if it's in the garbage, if it's in a public garbage at that point, it's thrown out, anybody can really take it at that point. It shows that the person who threw it out didn't want it. So that's like, so I wouldn't say that that's like, taking of property or anything like that, because that's in the garbage. But, that's, that my company would, do that, is they would throw out a lot of stuff that, people didn't want. I did take a few things in the garbage from my company that they were throwing out. And typically what I would do is when I would take stuff that was from the garbage, I would put it in like a bag and just seal it. And then I'd put it in the garbage, and then that way the bag doesn't get dirty. It's pretty sealed. But do you know what the most ridiculous thing that my company threw out that I took? It was an iPhone speaker. That was like the most, like a $100 iPhone speaker. That was like the most expensive thing that my company threw out, and it was perfectly working. It was working. Why did they throw it out? Because the box was a little bit damaged. That's why they threw it out. I'm not even joking. They threw it out because the box is damaged. So that's what a lot of people don't know about these places, is that a lot of these retail places, they throw out perfectly good merchandise, like merchandise that's perfectly good, but a lot of the stuff is, the boxes are damaged. The boxes are damaged, or it might be missing a manual or something else. It might be opened, something else, some small little thing that's like insignificant, but the actual thing is working. So that's thing. But, be careful taking something home, even if it's thrown in the garbage, because they'll fire you on the spot for that, if they actually catch you for that. But that's, I can help you, Jen. I've in one instance where I was vacuuming the entrance of the store, then it stopped working a second, and the wire caught on fire. My God. Oh my God. I'm sorry about that, Dylan. I'm sorry that happened to you. He should have rewarded you 5 capitale. Yeah. That was 5 capitale. You're a smart guy, and you're the best, and you're a great person. Keep up the good work. God bless you. Good luck with everything in the future, guys. Professional. Thank you, Matt. I mean, I'm not a full-time. I only work 15 hours, minimum of $15 an hour. Okay. Well, if you ever get the chance, try Uber Eats if you can. Like, I haven't done it, but I have friends who do it, and they, they said good things about it generally. So that's, technically, customers won't buy something with a damaged box. Oh, they will. Oh, they will. Customers won't buy something with a damaged box for full price. But if you can show them that the item isn't damaged, just the box is damaged, they'll buy it for a discounted price. So that's here's a little trick for you guys. Here's a trick for you guys. When you're working in retail, if you're in any kind of store, right? If you're in any kind of store, and you are trying to buy something, and look on the shelf, and look at the boxes carefully, at the item that's on the shelf, and just see if anything is damaged, if any of the boxes are damaged. If any of the boxes are damaged, as long as the product itself in the box isn't damaged, it's still good, because the only thing that's damaged is the box. Take that to the counter, and just tell the cashier at the counter, the box is pretty damaged. Can you give me like 20% off or some kind of discount? And they'll do it most of the time. They will. A lot of companies will do that. Because they want to get rid of the stuff that's damaged on the boxes that are damaged on the shelf because nobody's buying them. But you can get yourself a discount a lot of times. You know, if they don't give you a discount, then they don't give you a discount. But you can always ask. You know, just say to them. But don't, whatever you do, never damage anything intentionally. Don't ever do that. Never do that. But if you see like a box on the shelf, because there were customers that were scammers. There were scammers customers that they would intentionally damage the box. I've seen people do that. They intentionally damage the box just so they can get a discount. Don't ever do that. That's illegal. That's kind of messed up. But if you're on the if you go down the aisles and you see like a box, like let's say that you're shopping in Walmart, for example, because Walmart has like a lot of really damaged boxes on stuff, and maybe you see like a lawn chair, and that lawn chair is like $100, right? And like basically the box is just a little bit damaged, but the lawn chair is fine. You know, go up to the counter and just say, hey, can I get 20% off of this? The box is a little bit damaged. They might give you $80 instead of $100. And the lawn chair is perfectly fine. The only thing that was damaged was the box. That's a way for you to save a little bit of money. I mean, some people care about the box is damaged, but I personally don't. So that's a little bit, that's a trick that will help you save a little bit of money. So I hope that helps people. Let me see here. Anybody need help with anything? Here? Oh yeah. Okay. We're in Saints MC right now. Let me see. Thank you, M. Oways. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you, Otto King Kinneton in Blissfield is a very shady factory that treat you poorly and expect more from you for less in return. Screw that place. Yeah. You know what one of the more productive retail places is? Costco. Costco, the employees are just... Have you ever noticed that the employees in Costco are just much more friendly than a lot of places? That's because the Costco doesn't treat their employees, like garbage. I'm not saying the company's perfect, but, comparing it to a lot of other retail places, Costco is known for treating their employees much more respect and paying them better than a lot of other retail places. I was kind of dealt a bad hand and stuffed my dad drinking when I needed to get my hours. My dad was drunk. I'm learning it via a friend, and I'm doing good at it. And money very tight. I said last one. Okay, Deadman. Well, if you don't feel like you have to give me super chats, though, I do really appreciate it, man. Though I hope that your financial situation, improves, and I hope you get out of that terrible job. But thank you also for the donations. Thank you, man. I do greatly appreciate it a lot. And I'm going to be 26 years old and stuff me. Wow, I must really be the most evil human on earth the way I've been dealt with. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm trying to gain sympathy. You're not. You're fine. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super chats. Thoughts on mandatory conscription? I think that selective service should be, abolished in the United States. I think so. That was, I don't think that should really be a thing personally. And also, there's a lot of wars that, people might not necessarily agree with. So, so I don't think that would be, thing. I mean, the American founding fathers, for example, they didn't even believe in a standing army. People don't know that. A lot of the people that want the U.S. to have such a strong military, but they don't even know the American founding fathers never actually wanted a large military. They were actually against a large military. In our country's history, for 200 years of our country's history, or no, not 200 years, more like 150 years of our country's history, we've had for the most part armies at 10 to 20,000 max. There was times when we had large armies during massive wars, but what we always did during the Civil War is we had a massive army and then we demobilized the army right after the Civil War. We didn't keep it. But the American forefathers, for example, they wanted the people to be the army. They wanted the people to be the militia. That was pretty much what it was. So they never believed in a large army. Let me read some of this here, some more. But what I was saying earlier about retail, did you guys have that happen to you though? In retail, where your managers would tell you that oh, you can't go on break right now, that we have a lot of work to do, and they would try to stop you from going on your break. Has anybody had that happen to them? Because I didn't really read the chat earlier when I asked people that question. I just went off of my stories, but my life's good, Rashawn. Bro, you're really smart, got a lot of knowledge. Well, thank you, Jinx. Thanks, man. When I worked in retail, that happened several times. How did you react to it? Would you ever join the military? Well, I did consider it after, you know, high school, but I went to college instead. I have a lot of people that... I have respect for a lot of people that are in the military, but, yeah, I just never went to the military myself. Yes, you are right on that, Thanos. Yeah. I mean, you know, the American founding fathers, you know, you know, if they were, you know, if they were here today, you know, the things that would probably piss them off the most is how big the government has gotten, because they never wanted the government to be that big. And the second thing is that the fact that we have like a massive standing army, they would definitely not like that. It's not they don't have anything against troops or soldiers, but they just personally didn't believe in having a large standing army. They were against that. You know, they wanted the people to be the army, the militia. That was the whole idea the founders had. Was too scared to speak up at the time. Yeah, it was the, yeah, I get you. I was the same way. What's up, man? How are you? I'm good. How are you, how are you, Manolo? Thank you, Matt. Yeah, it's fast food. Everyone deserves happy love. Thank you, man. When I worked, my store was understaffed, and I had to work a lot of overtime, but my boss, only gave me vacation time. Yeah, if your boss does that to you, refuse to work overtime. If your boss says, I'm going to give you vacation time, and no. Just refuse to work at that point. No, I would, I play in free aim lobbies mostly. Okay, let's go here. What's your opinion on trucking? Oh, well, I have a lot of respect for truckers. I have a friend of mine who's a trucker. But truckers do not have it easy. And do you know what truckers actually have? Truckers have the most amount of digestive health problems. A lot of people actually don't know about that. And the reason for that is because truckers are on the road so much. And truckers have health problems a lot of times because they're eating unhealthy, because truckers want to, you know, they don't have time to eat an actual good meal, and so they're stopping and getting fast food all the time. Also, truckers oftentimes have very high divorce rates, and this goes for both women and male truck drivers. So both have very high divorce rates. So and the reason that the divorce rates are very high is because, you know, they're oftentimes trucking and they're not home a lot of times. So that's primarily why the divorce rate is pretty high on that. But truckers, you know, truckers are, you know, like, you know, the truckers are like what holds this country together. You know, without truckers, this entire country would fall apart. If every single trucker just stopped working right now, the whole country would probably fall apart. Nothing will get delivered. And I personally think that, a lot of people take truckers for granted, and I think a lot of people take farmers for granted also. Like, a lot of people don't realize how important they are. Like, you know what, I'll tell you something about this is, I've seen, like, a lot of ignorant people in New York. Like, where I'm from, like, a lot of ignorant people in New York who have a very, and I'm not saying every New Yorker, I'm from New York, but I'm saying, me growing up, I've seen a lot of New Yorkers who have a very ignorant view of, like, people in, like, rural areas specifically. And that's where most truckers live, in rural communities. And farmers live in almost all rural communities. But, basically what I'm getting at is that there's a lot of New Yorkers, and I've heard New Yorkers say this so many times. New Yorkers say that New York's pays for the countryside, and they say, oh, New York's taxes pay for rural counties, and rural counties would not be able to support themselves without New York's taxes. I hear New Yorkers say that a lot of times. But the reality of that is that that's actually a double-edged sword. Because while tax dollars from cities do definitely help rural communities, do you know what the people in the cities aren't telling you about that? They're not telling you how dependent the cities are. It's both ways. So while rural communities are somewhat dependent on cities, cities are also dependent on rural communities. They can't function without each other. That's the thing. So a lot of times it's really arrogant people in the cities that think that the rural communities can't function without cities, and they think the cities are just completely dependent on their tax dollars. But the reality of it is, while taxes from the city might help, like, rural communities, think about this. Who grows all the food that gets delivered to supermarkets in cities, rural communities, farms, small towns? Rural America grows most of that food. Who delivers most of the food to supermarkets in the cities? Truckers. And where are those truckers most of the time from rural communities? Who who produces most of the gasoline in America that cities use? Most of the time, it's rural communities that produce the gasoline. So imagine if the cities didn't have that. If they didn't have the countryside's gas, they didn't have the countryside's, like, the countryside's truckers. They didn't have the countryside's farms. Cities would fall apart. So when I hear people from cities saying that that we don't need the rural communities and the rural communities are completely all dependent on us, no, it works both ways. While your tax dollars do help rural communities and they do help benefit them, rural communities don't just sit there and do nothing. They also help benefit the cities in other ways. And so that's what I say, is that there's a lot of people that I think have a very they take these people for granted. They take the truckers for granted, and they don't realize how important they are to the I consider truckers like the heart and soul of America. So that's that's all I say about that. I like your outfit. Thank you, man. Have I ever had an 80-hour work week? No, I haven't, Alvinor. I can't imagine what that's like. I mean, the closest thing that I had to maybe an 80-hour work week is it was in December of 2019, and basically what it was I wasn't working my retail job anymore at that point, but what happened was the casino DLC came out on GTA Online, and the Moonshiners came out on Reddit Online, and I was editing videos all night long. So I was up all night. I didn't sleep for 24 hours when Casino and Moonshiners came out, and I was doing both a casino stream and a Moonshiner stream, because I was trying to appeal to both my GTA, my Reddit audience, and I was trying to make a guide for Moonshiners and a guide for Casino, and I was just editing those videos. I didn't sleep that well. I rushed through dinner and everything like that because I just wanted to get everything out. So that's really the closest thing that I've ever been to an 80 hours work week, is just when those two DLCs came out. I was editing videos. I barely had any time for myself, and it was just sitting on my computer and just editing videos all night long. It's not a lot of physical labor, but it was it was that's the closest that I've ever been to working that much at once. When the trucker protest occurred in Canada last year, you saw how much it crippled the country. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that people don't realize how important truckers are. Before I could quit my bad job, I worked at a bad job. Oh, okay, Matt. Before you could quit your bad job, you work at the bad job. Oh. Well, what would I choose of what, Edgy? Oh, I'm sorry, Caleb. Yeah, I could do Mafia 2 and Mafia 1 again. Thank you, Mark. We were short of lorry truck drivers after Brexit. Everyone panicked and fuel prices went through the roof. Thank you for the super chat, Mark. But is that I mean, I don't know the whole story. I don't know if that's directly because of Brexit. I'm trying to get into politics. Probably has some role in it because of the easy trade. But I do know that also a part of it was also the European Union's fault on that issue. I have a cousin who actually lives in Britain. And my cousin was actually saying how there was French truckers or French. So he was saying something had happened on the French side, that they were blocking something, and he said that caused a lot of issues too. That the French were pissed off at the British for something, and that they were blocking something. That's what he told me. I remember once, but that was Oh, it accidentally changed my profile controller. Oh, let me see here. Put this down here. I think that one way, one way that, Britain could possibly deal with the truck shortage is they could probably legalize larger trucks. because I don't know if you've noticed that like in a lot of European countries, for example, the trucks are actually smaller than American trucks, and there's a reasoning for that. It's because trucks are not allowed to be that big in like European countries. If you made your trucks big, truckers would be able to actually carry more product, and maybe that wouldn't entirely fix the shortage problem. But if a single truck could carry more stuff, that actually might help a bit. Many of our lorry drivers came from mainland Europe. There was blame on both sides. Okay. But was I right on what I was saying? I don't remember what. It was just my cousin was just telling me once. He was saying that he was basically he was telling me that from what my cousin told me, I don't know how true this is, but what my cousin told me, he told me that it wasn't like entirely on that, on that vote. He told me that it was that a lot of the issues were there was like something going on the French side, and there was like a blockade or something, and, EU roads and stuff don't fit at the larger trucks is another part of the problem. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. EU roads are smaller, so the American trucks probably wouldn't fit on them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is an issue. I worked at a laundry assistant for 1 year from October 2009 to December 2010, and I was only getting $2.50 an hour. What? That's illegal. Did you report that, Aussie? European roads are not big enough. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Generally, I made a mistake on that. I didn't think about that. Do you like the car that you have? Yeah, I do. I generally enjoy the car that I have. Talk about some horror stories from retail. Well, it was basically mostly that I was talking about. It's like, when you have those scumbag managers that they don't want to like they don't want to let you go on break, and they'll do everything in their power to try to keep you from going on break. That's just basically annoying. How do you feel about Trevor killing Johnny? I think that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, wait, here. How many do I still have? Oh, one package still left. Okay. You can't 100% GTA 5 because you can't what? With Chop, I'm confused. Roy? Oh, and... Oh, and Mark, we're like the workers that were from Europe, by any chance, mainland Europe. Do you happen to know, were they under contracts? Because if those workers were under contracts, they might have been, yeah, if those workers were under contract, they might have, basically what might have... Basically, if the trucking companies in the UK had just basically increased, like, the wage of truckers, then you probably would have more people that would probably be involved in that. But yeah, when you have, like, long hours driving and you don't really have the best, like, the best pay for that, then it's gonna be, you're gonna have some shortages. Don't you think that GT Online is starting to look old? Oh, it pretty much is old, Leia. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for the super chat. If you were to join the, military, would you join the Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Marine Corps, maybe the Coast Guard if you'd like? Probably National Guard, possibly. It's probably what I would possibly do. Call of Duty World War II was a great game. I mean, I didn't like the multiplayer, but I did like the single player. That was great.
Oh my god!
Okay. Did you ever get untreated in GTA PvP? What untreated? What do you mean? But what I will say also is with I'm sorry, I'm just losing my track of thought here. Oh yeah, so I wanted to mention something earlier. Is my my coworker friend who was a supervisor. He actually had my back when I worked in retail and, you know, did things for me that he didn't need to do. Basically, what happened was, you guys remember that horror story that I told you guys about? It was I talked about this in a few streams. People might remember it. For people that don't know the story, basically what happened was my first manager that was a scumbag, he stopped, what happened with him is he was going to get a job working at working at another store closer to his house. And it was his second to last day, and I had covered so many shifts for him. And even though I had covered so many shifts for him, what basically happened was he was not going to give me any kind of raise or anything like that at the time, and I wanted to talk to him about that. And he was just trying to avoid me that day. Like, he was second to last day, he was trying to really badly to avoid me. Like, he didn't want to talk to me. And even though I went above and beyond for this guy so many times, I literally said to him, like, can I have a raise? And literally, and he was trying to walk out, and he said to me, come in earlier, and we'll talk tomorrow, and we'll talk about it, Patrick. And I came in, like, I came in 1 hour early that day. It was his final day at work. And you know what happened? He didn't show up to work. He took a day off on his final day at work. And he didn't reply to me, no text message, nothing. And I got pissed off. And my supervisor that was working at the time was a decent guy. And he knew about the whole thing. He was a witness to it. He saw me talk to my manager, and he heard me say that to him, and the manager told me to come in early. And then he's like, you know, what happened? And I said, the manager isn't here. And what he did was, he went to the office, and I didn't even know he did this. He went to the office, and he tried to call my manager and ask him why he didn't show up to talk to me about my, about possible raise. And he didn't need to do that. I didn't ask him, but he did that for me. And he, basically what happened was manager didn't answer his phone. He didn't, of course. He called the assistant manager, and the assistant manager answered. And he asked the assistant manager, because the assistant manager went to that same store working with the manager. She was a scumbag as well. And so he asked her, you know, why didn't, you know, the manager come in to talk to Patrick about his race? And, you know, she basically just argued with him a bit and just said to him that you have to take this up with a new manager. And that was that. And then he came down, he told me, he's like, I tried to talk to them, but she was being unreasonable. And that was that. And I thanked him for that. You know, he didn't need to do that for me, but, you know, there's decent people everywhere. You know, he saw that I was, you know, mistreated by this manager, and, you know, he was a bit, he tried to call the manager out on it. Did you see the Insane Hogwarts Legacy Wired review? No, I didn't. What happened, Raphael? Is the 50-car apartment worth it? Are they nice? Not really an apartment. It's just like a small kitchen area. That's more of it what it is. New manager denied the raise. So here's what happened. The new manager that I got, the second manager, he was, you know, more of a decent human being. Will you ever do an LA Noire playthrough? Yeah, I'll probably do that one day, Doc. But, you know, he was, you know, pretty much for the most part a decent human being. And what happened was, I had talked to my new manager, and I told him the exact story that I told you guys. I told him exactly what the manager did, how the manager, you know, didn't want to talk to me, and, you know, just, you know, screwed me over like that. And there was witnesses to what had happened to me. Now, the reason that I really wanted a raise for my first manager is because the second manager would come in and not know how much of a hard worker I was. And so what the manager did to make it up to me, the second manager, the new guy, he cleaned up my first manager's mess and his mistakes, but I didn't forgive my first manager. But my second manager was very grateful to him for what had happened. But what he did was he got me a raise, but he didn't get me the raise the proper way. Basically, there was no way for me to get a raise, like an actual raise. There was no way for me to get a raise, and the company doesn't hand out raises like that unless it's the yearly raise. And so what my second manager did was he promoted me instead. He gave me a promotion. And what he did was he gave me a promotion to the pharmacy department and the pharmacy cashier. And now here's the thing about that is I didn't have to work in pharmacy. So he promoted me to a pharmacy position, but I didn't have to work in pharmacy. I could still keep doing the exact same work that I was doing right now. So he told me I don't have to work there, and he promoted me there that way. And and I got a pay increase with that, because pharmacy cashiers do make more than store cashiers. And so it was a way for him to give me, a raise, something that I deserved, but he had to go through a lot of different channels. He had to jump hoops to be able to do that for me. So, he was, an honest guy, and he did that for me. But, that first manager, if I ever saw that first manager again, the guy who screwed me over, I'd probably tell him to go screw himself. Because, and I mean, I don't curse a lot, but, that was just so horrible that I ran around for that guy. I broke my back for that guy. I did so much work for that guy. Whenever he needed me, I was there for him. And the one time that I needed him for something, he was, he wasn't there. And literally, even if he couldn't get me the raise, it was all about at least meeting me, at least having the guts to face me and talk to me, tell me to come in early, at least talk to me, have a conversation with me, to say, I appreciate all the work you've done, Patrick. Wasn't able to get you the raise, but I'll try to do something. I'll try to see if I can somehow get you. That's all. But it's the fact that he doesn't even want to face me. Just that. It was just that's the that manager was just a scumbag. But yeah, one of my I'll tell you guys about this though. When I told one of my friends about this, so one of my friends in real life, I told him about this once, and basically it was that what one of my friends in real life got the most pissed off about in the story. It was a weird thing that my friend got pissed off at about. So basically, my manager the manager that was a scumbag to me was a former Marine, United States Marine, and my friend in real life was a Marine. And so when I told my friend about the story, and he also found out that the manager was a former Marine, he was outraged about that, because he told me that, you're not supposed to do stuff like that. It's like, the whole idea is, you have my back, I have your back. But, he was just generally pissed off about that and just told me that the guy was like a disgrace to the Marines for, treating somebody else like that. But that's what my friend, couldn't stop talking about that when he found out that my, first manager was like a Marine, that he treated me like that. He was just saying that he disgraced the Corps and everything like that. But oh, my manager, the manager that was like the manager that was a scumbag, that manager. He was rich, he was, but he wasn't. Basically, what he did was he actually ran his own business. So he ran a business where he ran a lumber yard. So he owned a giant lumber yard, and he would sell lumber to people. That's really what he did as his main job. He had the retail job. He was the manager at the store as like a side thing. And he didn't do anything at the store. He just sat there and ran his lumber yard business. So he had a lot of money. Like he just generally he had a lot of money. And I've seen what his car looks like. And one time one of my friends showed me his Facebook post, and I saw generally like a lot of pictures of his house and stuff like that. He had a lot of money. So he was he was a pretty well-off guy, but, it was the fact that he just used the retail job as like a job to basically do nothing. And he was managing his own job from that as well, to his lumber yard from that. So, I missed a donation. They spotted another balloon off the coast of Hawaii, apparently. How many of these things are there? Well, thank you, Mario, for the super chat. Yeah, and thank you, Doc. I will do I'll do a live stream of LA Noire one day, but, yeah, don't know how many of these there these balloons there are. And can you fly back over? I'm sorry I missed it. But yeah, it was just yeah, it was yeah, China is just trying to violate our airspace, and China's more sending a message. That's more what it is with those balloons. They're saying that we can invade your airspace and get away with it. So that's what it's about. No, I haven't seen. I know there's like Dr. Friedlander is gonna be in it. That's the only thing I know. Other than that, I don't know much more than that. $80 million today for what? For selling what, Brandon? Or your total? Okay. Here we go. Have I eaten anything today? Yes, I had a burger for breakfast. And I know it's a weird breakfast, but that's what I had for for breakfast was burger. Favorite cereal? Maybe the Reese's Puffs. I played a little bit of season 2, and I didn't play the new S. I was playing DMZ mostly, like that new island. I was giving that a try. I don't know how to make chili. I can't really answer your question.
That's no way to treat a lady.
Yo, meet me at the beach later. Sounds good.
I'm doing a workout here. I hope they bring in that option in GTA 6. They bring back the gyms like in San Andreas where you can build muscle and stuff. I hope they do that one day. And I would actually like to see them bring back the food in GTA 6 where you have to eat. I would like to see that actually happen.
Hey, what's up?
No, I haven't, Reward. You think Rockstar's neglecting Red Dead so we can catch up with everything that has been released on the game? Maybe that's why the number of players in Red Dead has increased. Well, but Red Dead Online has barely had any content though. You know, it's gonna be this July. It's gonna be 2 years with no content. I wouldn't mind it, Tricky Mario. Unfortunately, my dog passed away today, but your stream is really helping me be distracted from it. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Cookie Dude, and I'm sorry about your dog passing away. I give my condolences. I'm sorry about that, man. Thank you, Trash Man. 221, grab a plane and crash. Well, Why would I do that though? But thank you for the super chat. Yes, this is a friends only session. Bunker. Okay, here we go. You have any tips for a first job? You know, generally work hard, but don't let yourself be taken advantage of. Be respectful. You know, try. I'm not saying you should be friends with your coworkers, but like try to get along with everyone. Yeah, this mission is so easy. Okay, 1 mile left.
I take it this isn't a social call. Oh, hey, you're in trouble. Okay, I'll deal with it.
Okay, there we go. You know what I think I'd like to do? Why don't we all do arena wars? Like most of the people in this lobby, if people are down for that, right? We could do something. Venge, do you need help selling anything? I haven't seen you sell anything. Do you?
Are you standing me up again?
Any tips on DLC? On which one? This one? I made a guide on the businesses. No problem, Saint. I wanted to do Arena Wars because some people still need to unlock the taxi. Okay. Arena Wars. Do Tag Team, because that was one I actually liked. Let me invite everyone in the lobby, see how much we can fill this up with. I'll do 3 rounds. Team balancing, yes. Makes 5 minutes on each round. We don't want it to be super long. Can we get a full lobby going on this? Let's see if we can. Look, we're the only full lobby in Arena Wars in the world right now. Because no one plays Arena Wars anymore. Okay. Okay, looks like I'm gonna start with what we have then here.
Arena War is underway, and I don't know about you, Jock, but I can feel the excitement.
Al, the people here tonight are ready for a show. They started tailgating at 8 a.m. I'm surprised any of them are still standing.
Well, they're on their feet for this amazing night of Arena War, as contestants prepare to race, joust, and take each other out by any means necessary.
It's like that book I read in grade school with the British boys on the island with a conch shell and everyone tries to murder each other, especially the chubby kid with the glasses. Great stuff.
Tonight's episode brought to you by the drone from Wiz Wireless. Now texting while driving is even more fun with extra emojis.
I like that creepy eggplant one.
Stay in your lane, Jock.
Okay. Arena Wars is fun if you have more people that play it, but... Oh, Arena War vehicles, so I spend hundreds, millions of dollars.
All right, Jock, we're almost ready. People in the stands are on their feet for this tag team match.
It's like professional wrestling, but with more opioids and marginally less steroids. Let's get this started.
Spectator boxing, a lot of action.
Remember you can tag your teammates in. Remember that. So when you're getting damaged, tag your teammates in.
Toy car in the arena.
Oh, little head-on action there.
Okay.
Whoa, my favorite part. The machine gun turn. Just a second. 11 players left. That tiny car dropping money.
Oh, I'm being tagged in. Okay.
Oh, shit. Looks like we're at 9 left now. Oh, David has just killed Goliath. RC Ben Keto for the win. Those machine gun turrets ought to cause a little slaughter. I'm like a rapper in here. This is great.
Looks like the gun tower is fired up.
Zappo! You like a little jumper table to the face, huh? Nice EMP hit.
Getting into concussion territory there.
Okay.
Holy shit out
Okay, that'll heal my vehicle, and I remember how to play this mode still. I still remember how to play this mode. Okay.
Boom! Eliminated that toy car. Oh, that player has been immobilized by EMP. Yowza! Remote control machine gun turret has shit. 8 contenders are still in this.
Looks like a spectator has a drone to cause some trouble. Whoa! Barbecued! Did you see that? Some mines coming out of that little guy. That drone just gave the old stunt
Okay, it's
gun
all bikes,
treatment.
which is going to be a little bit harder to
There's
do.
a patriotic kill. Down by a drone.
New fighter in the arena. This is going to get interesting.
What's that tiny car doing out there? Oh man, a head-on crash. Officials have indicated racers can now tag out.
What insane! Wow! 6 players left. This is coming down to the wire. Oh, and a nice kill by that tiny car. Purple is done. That team is wasted. Oh, looks like...
New blood coming in. This could change the competition.
And the spectator is in the machine gun turrets.
Yeah, the Apocalypse Arena was probably my favorite arena.
Folks are looking a bit ragged. You can now tag out. Look at that tiny car dropping mines.
Clock is counting down.
Oh, what the?
There's a
Traps have been set by a spectator.
I think that was a missile.
We've got a player man for remote control machine gun turrets.
Looks like we've headed into sudden death, folks. It's going to get real, as they say.
God, we lost.
Okay, good work, Brandon. Okay. Oh, blue team only has 2 people. Okay. It's okay, Mr. Waifu. Okay.
Didn't think we'd have this many in the spectator box. Watch out on the field, folks. Machine gun fire incoming. Down to lucky.
Oh, I'm being tagged in already? What I...
It's garbage.
Oh, maybe next time, Specialist. Tag team was always my favorite one. The reason I like tag team is because tag team required a lot of teamwork.
Hurting after that head-on collision. People that fly drones are assholes.
Out of area, what?
Looks like a spectator has a... Oh, just a second. That takes us to 12 challengers left.
Okay, there we go.
Looks like we're switching players.
Do you know the easiest way to win this mode is to keep tagging your teammates in when you lose a lot of health, because you do regain a little health when you tag people in. But people don't tag other players in. They don't do that, and that's...
We're at 11 players. And the spectator is in the machine gun turrets. Oh, a new player coming in. Did their buddy just send them in to die? Oh, looks like the engine has gone out. EMP shock hit that hard.
Those traps are armed, Al.
Okay, no, that whoever rammed him saved him there. Okay,
Control carnage. Some mines coming out of that little guy. That drone just stole stun gun treatment. Whoa, my favorite part. The machine gun turrets.
Battle drone incoming.
Oh, what the?
Is causing trouble with a remote control car.
Oh, no, it's my teammates.
Somebody is going to be hurting after that head-on collision. Sapo! You like a little jumper cable?
No.
He hit.
Oh, David has just killed Goliath. RC Bandito for the win. And the Bandito laying some tiny explosives.
We've got a switch out in progress.
Oh, drone is taking that one out with an EMP pulse. And we have a drone casualty.
That drone just gave the old stun gun treatment.
Ah.
9 left in the arena.
Zappo! You like a little jumper cable to the face, huh? Nice EMP hit.
We've got a player manning the remote control machine gun turrets.
Yeah.
That's it for the orange.
There we go.
Oh, and the pink
Okay.
team is out. Oh, damn!
And now 8 are left. Almost out of time.
People that fly drones are assholes.
Watch out on the field, folks.
Hey, Professional, a new buddy who's been playing GT, I'm worried he will overmaster me in combat. Is there a way I can prevent that? I mean, if somebody's better than you, I don't know if there's really... I mean, you can try to get better at the game. Thank you, Shiitake. I mean, if they're your friend, they're not really, you know, gonna cause you any issues. Like, I play with people that are much better than me at games. Just happy they're on my side.
We are heading into sudden death, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting exciting. Stay clear of the gun tower. Someone has got homing launchers.
Little remote control car is gonna be trouble.
Tiny car, tiny minds. Careful.
That drone just gave the old stun gun treatment. There's a patriotic kill. Down by a drone.
Oh, that player has been immobilized by EMP.
Oh, okay. Damn, I don't get to use the EMP, explosive. Okay, let's try again here. Okay, let's see what we go. But yeah, this Arena Wars generally is a pretty fun mode if you got people to play it with. But like, how many times are you gonna get people to fill up lobbies like this right now? You know.
Wow, wow, wow. Lots of VIPs in the spectator box.
Looks like a spectator has a drone to cause some trouble.
Yeah. Remote control machine gun turret has arrived. Ow, I'm a little shocked to the system. Battle drone hits with an EMP.
What's that tiny car doing out there?
Whoa, head on.
My favorite. Death by drone. So manly.
Tactical switch up. Fresh new fighter entering the arena.
Al, it looks like the traps are all set. Spectator ready to fire them off. Some mines coming out of that little guy.
What?
What's this?
Oh, what?
Looks like we have a
How?
controlled RC car out there. Oh, and a nice kill
I don't
by that
understand though.
tiny
What?
car.
Those machine gun turrets ought to cause a little slaughter. I'm like a rapper in here. This is great.
And gun towers have opened up.
Okay.
Oh, little head
Try
on
this
action
here.
there. We've got a drone in the arena, flown by an angry spectator. Oh, hold it. And we have 13 left.
No, 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 no. My God, I'm getting tagged in like right when I'm about to kill people with the drone. Like every time I'm like, oh, damn.
Nice EMP hit. Look at that tiny car dropping mines. There's a patriotic kill. Down by a drone. Looks like we're switching players. Little remote control car is
Damn.
gonna be trouble.
Down to 12. Keep an eye on those machine guns.
Whoa, my favorite part. The machine gun turrets. Who is ready to tag out? It's now available.
Oh, they are killed like, uh-oh. 11 players left. New fighter in the arena. This is going to get interesting. Oh, drone is taking that one out with an EMP pulse.
Look at those machine guns.
Okay.
Drone strike, ethical or not, that was cool.
Oh, and the pink team is out. They've been eliminated.
Toy car in the arena.
Ah.
That player has been immobilized by EMP. And the spectator is in the machine gun turrets.
Oh, man. Death by turret. People that fly drones are assholes.
That'll give me some more health back at least. Ooh, yeah.
Is gone. Ghosted. Shame. Dead.
Adding to the excitement, the gun tower is online. Oh, a new player coming in. Did their buddy just send them in to die? Watch out for the tiny mines. We've got a player manning the remote control machine gun turrets.
That just gave the old stun gun
Wow.
treatment.
Okay. Okay. Turret.
Those machine gun turrets ought to cause a little slaughter. I'm like a rapper in here. This is great. We've got
Saints
a
Woke
switch out in
lost
progress.
100 million. Wow. Yeah.
Drone incoming. And the gun tower is operational. Oh, the Bando is dropping mines. Ow, a little shock to the system. Battle drone hits with an EMP. Tagging out is now available. Who's ready?
Hitting them with a missile is a little hard to do, but if you actually hit them, it'll kill them in one hit, even if they're at full health. All vehicles.
Looks like we're switching players. What's that tiny car doing out there? This could change the competition. Turret kill.
And the Bandito laying some tiny explosives. And just like that, she's...
Ooh, okay, yep. Okay. Yeah, this was, I remember this. This was, December of 2018 when the game was a lot of fun with this. Okay, if we win this round, it'll be our final round here. Let's... Okay. Oh no, not spectator camera, fly a battle drone, okay.
Looks like a spectator has a drone to cause some trouble.
Uh-oh, remote control car. This could be trouble.
Whoa, my favorite part. The machine gun turret.
The turrets and the EMP drones are more effective than the RC cars, though.
There's a fresh face. Let's see how long they last.
Oh, looks like the engine is going out. EMP shock hit that. Jeez. That takes us to 12 challengers left.
My favorite. Death by drone. So manly. I don't think they're having dinner with Mom after that turret kill. Those machine gun turrets ought to cause a little slaughter. I'm like a rapper in here. This is great.
Oh, this should be fun. Gun tower online. Oh, you don't always come out on top. Well, this driver certainly didn't.
Come on, no.
With that elimination, we're at 11 players.
Time to switch. Tagging out is now an option. Oh, somebody is going to be hurting after that head-on collision.
Oh, okay.
That's some good shooting. New blood coming in. This could change the competition.
Tiny car, tiny minds. Careful.
We've got a switch out in progress.
Yowza! Remote control machine gun turret has arrived. Tactical switch up. Fresh new fighter entering the arena.
Okay. Oh, wow, that was my kill, whatever.
And the green team is gone completely.
Ah, damn. And I got trapped there. Yeah, missile will take you out in one hit. Nice missile, though.
Remote control car is gonna be trouble.
Watch out on the field, folks. Machine gun stop the press. 9 left in the arena.
Wait, why can't I use... Why can't I use the, I can't use anything.
Getting into concussion territory there.
Some mines coming out of that little guy.
Yeah, I can't use anything here.
The machine gun turrets.
Someone is on the machine guns.
Yeah, it looks like it's a glitch. Wish I could stand up at least.
Watch out for the tiny mine.
Hey, Pro, I'm trying to, the ECU contract solo. I'm confused of what I need to do to damage on the train. Can you tell me where I need to shoot? There's like locks I think you have to shoot on the train. Watch my video on it. I did a video on the contract. I have like a video on all the auto shop contracts, a playlist on my channel, Nicest Guy. I don't remember that specific one, so I can't answer at the moment. This is a glitch? I didn't even know this is a glitch. This is a glitch, guys, where you can't do anything on the turrets or anything.
This is almost over. Oh, and a nice kill by that tiny car. Oh, the orange team is toast. Going home in a...
There's a lot of bots a lot of times, yes, Mitchell. I try to ban the bots as much as I can, but a lot of times they disappear. Okay, here we go.
Didn't think we'd have this many in the spectator box. We've got a drone in the arena, flown by an angry spectator.
There are people spamming the chat trying to get your attention. Oh, they are? Who's spamming? I'm sorry, I just don't really answer that many comments when I'm like playing like an Arena Wars match like this. I'm just trying to focus on the match, but...
Zappo! You like a little jumper cable to the face, huh? Nice EMP hit.
What happened?
Those machine gun turrets ought to cause a little slaughter. I'm like a rapper in here. This is great. My favorite. Death by drone. So manly. New blood coming in. This could change the competition.
We've got a player manning the remote control machine gun turrets. Looks like the gun tower is fired up.
There's the signal. Contestants can tag out if they like.
Death from above. We've got a dead eye in the sky.
There's a fresh face. Let's see how long they last.
Yowza! Remote control machine gun turret has arrived.
Look at those machine guns.
Down to 12.
Oh, no, don't, no. Aw, man. Right when I'm about to kill somebody with the drone, every time I'm getting tagged in.
Oh man, a head-on crash. Oh my God. 11 players left. Whoa, uh-oh. An even 10 left in play. Toy car in the arena. Watch out on the field, folks. Machine gun fire incoming. The machine guns are adding some excitement here. Oh, drone is taking that one out with an EMP.
Oh, not good.
pulse. Oh, the Bandito is dropping mines. And a spectator is in the machine gun turrets.
Officials have indicated racers can now tag out. Beat it! They are done!
And the gun tower is operational. Turtle is done. That
Got a kill
team is
streak going.
wasted.
key to winning this is tagging in people, because when you tag people in, it repairs your vehicle a little bit.
Oh, and we've got a player tagging out. New fighter in the arena. This is going to get interesting.
Also, Arena Wars, you could argue, is pay to win, because if you have custom vehicles, you're going to have a massive advantage over people who don't.
Drone strike, ethical or not, that was cool. Oh, we have a hot shot on our guns.
Okay. Try something here. I got an idea. Just don't tag me in yet, please. I just got an idea. Oh, don't tell me it's glitching again. Yeah, I can't. Is this a glitch in Arena Wars, guys? Because I don't play a lot of Arena Wars, but I can't use this tablet. Damn.
We've got a player manning the remote control machine gun turrets. Time for a change. They're tagging out.
New blood coming in.
It's always been a glitch. Wow, for 4 years this has been a glitch and hasn't been fixed still yet. Wow.
And this match is almost over. Oh, a spectator is causing trouble with a remote controlled car.
Yeah, I'm concerned if the new CEO is going to be worse than Susan.
And just like that, we're headed into sudden death. It's about to get dramatic.
Oh, you guys are glitched too? Oh. Look, and look at all the people in the audience. They actually showed up for a match of Arena Wars. You know why? Because for once, there was actually enough for, like, a full match. Oh, everyone is out right now. Wait. It's sudden death right now, right? But I can't get tagged in?
See you later, buddy. Dunzo.
Yeah, I can't do anything. This sucks. I can't even, like, spectate. Yeah, this sucks.
Oh, out of nowhere, drone strike. Nice turret kill.
Feel free to tag me in whenever you want.
Yowza! Remote control machine gun turret has arrived.
Oh, somebody is going to be hurting after that head-on collision.
Thank you, Charles, for subscribing. No, I'm not closing app. We're in the middle of this match here.
Oh, good God, we lost another.
Well, good work, Brandon.
Oh my God! Looks like we're at 9 left now. And the Bandito laying some tiny explosives.
Okay, looks like I'm gonna get tagged in then. Waiting for your team to tag you in. Well, I can't even get tagged in right now, like... What do you mean, Roy? Yeah, look at this, guys. This is ridiculous right now. Yeah, it's glitched. No one's in the arena right now. We're waiting. Yeah. This sucks.
Eight contenders are still in this.
I wonder what happens after a minute. I can't get up. There's nothing. I'm hitting all the buttons, see? Nothing. I'll eventually have a video talking about Arena Wars again, but...
Watch out on the field, folks. Machine
well, we're just gonna have to
gun
wait
coming.
the timer down here. Well, I wonder what's gonna happen when we get to 0. Yeah, this really does suck, but... match winner? Oh, we won? Okay, well... we won $80,000. Okay, well, gonna go to free mode here now. Well, I guess we'll probably wrap up the stream here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that you guys want to ask me before I go here? I'll still stick around and answer a few questions. If you guys enjoyed the stream, drop a like, and if you're new to the channel and enjoy my content, and subscribe to me. I'm doing good, Matthew. How are you, man? When will I play the other Mega Man Legends games? One day I'll play them.
See my face, amigo? Re-fucking-member it, I'm your goddamn boss.
Sunday streams start at different times. I don't like to give an exact time. I started much earlier, and I'm going to try to start earlier from now on. Bro, it's my birthday today. My wife didn't wish me a happy birthday. I have no friends. I'm 39. Well, thank you. Have a happy birthday. Thank you. Happy birthday, man. I'm sorry that your birthday isn't going the best, but I wish you a happy birthday. No, I didn't lose my save. This is when I replayed, because I was replaying the game just so I can record that Brad lore video. Because there's certain dialogue that you can't get by replaying missions. You have to do it the first time. Thank you, Mark. Hogwarts Legacy boycott? Well, I don't even know about this. Chinatown Wars will be sometime this month, but I guess we'll be going here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this stream. Thank you for hanging out with me. It was a nice, fun stream today. If you guys enjoyed it, do drop a like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.